Mein Name ist Peter Brabeck, ich komme aus Villach in Kärnten und bin seit jetzt 7 Jahren Verantwortlicher der Nestle Gruppe, des größten Lebensmittelkonzerns der Welt, mit einem Umsatz von ungefähr 90 Milliarden Schweizer Franken oder ungefähr 65 Milliarden Dollar und mit ungefähr 275.000 Mitarbeitern, die bei uns direkt arbeiten. Also insgesamt ein relativ großes Schiff. Wir sind die 27 größte Firma der Welt. Wir glauben heute zum Beispiel, dass alles, was Natur ist, ist gut. Es ist ein riesiger Wandel, weil eigentlich bis vor kurzem haben wir immer gelernt, dass die Natur sehr unerbitterlich ist. Der Mensch ist jetzt in der Lage, der Natur etwas an Gleichgewicht zu geben. Und trotzdem kommen wir jetzt in so eine fast Versinnbildlichung, dass alles, was von der Natur kommt, ist gut. Gutes Beispiel ist Bio. Bio ist jetzt das Beste. Ja? Bio ist nicht das Beste. Nach 15 Jahren Verzehr von gentechnologischen Lebensmitteln ist in den USA bis jetzt noch kein einziger, nicht einmal ein Krankheitsfall aufgetreten. Und trotzdem sind wir in Europa so beunruhigt, dass uns irgendetwas passieren kann. Also auch dort ist mehr Heuchelei als sonst irgendwas. Ja, es gibt auch ja bei uns ein schönes Lied, Wasser braucht das liebe Vieh, Cholera und Cholerie, wenn Sie sich erinnern können. Also Wasser ist natürlich das wichtigste Rohmaterial, das wir heute noch auf der Welt haben. Es geht darum, ob wir das normale Wasserversorgung der Bevölkerung privatisieren oder nicht. Und da gibt es zwei verschiedene Anschauungen. Die eine Anschauung, extrem würde ich sagen, wird von einigen von den NGOs vertreten, die darauf pochen, dass Wasser zu einem öffentlichen Recht erklärt wird. Das heißt, als Mensch sollten Sie einfach Recht haben, um Wasser zu haben. Das ist die eine Extremlösung. Ja? Und die andere, die sagt, Wasser ist ein Lebensmittel, so wie jedes andere Lebensmittel, sollte das eine...
I'll say this though, like just the stuff that they focus on. You know what I mean? There's a guy from Nestle that doesn't think water is a human right. I mean, that guy should be hunted down and shot. Yeah. Right? And they're going to sit and just talk about, talking about all the, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we got to get America back to work.
It's like, dude, this guy wants to own the rain. Can we do something about this guy? He was at Nestle. You're supposed to be happy, like making cocoa for people. And this guy's like going, well, people are running out of water. What if we owned all the water and we kept it under our place? And in the future, when everybody's... That's how you picture the guy talking. I want to own the water. I want to have it underneath my house. And just, I'll come to the door in a robe, slightly ajar. Right? It's a complete animal.
Dork of the week. Well, this week's honors go to Peter Brabeck. He is the chairman of the board at Nestle. Peter recently stated that water should not be a public right, that water is foodstuff, and like any other foodstuff, it should have a market value like gold or fossil fuels and things like that. Now, this isn't a new statement for old Peter. Back in 2011, he also stated that in order to provide universal access to clean water, there's a simple but no other choice but to price water at a reasonable rate. And that roughly 1.8 billion people on Earth lack access to clean drinking water because of poor water management, government practices, and the lack of political will. And he's right. There's a lot of areas in the world that desperately need fresh water and better ways to bring them fresh water. And he sounds like, oh, that's very altruistic for a head of a CEO company.
It's great.
Yeah, the problem with Brabeck is he's just really looking to put a little extra coin in his pocket because he wants to take away and privatize water, all of it, meaning that no longer will you, basically making it like electricity, that you have to pay for it. constantly. Why? Because he works for Nestle, one of the world's biggest water suppliers. And Nestle's also that evil company that on conspiracy theory we looked into and found was like, they couldn't take fresh water from the Great Lakes, so what did they do? They paid off small municipalities around the Great Lakes, sunk some wells, and started pulling the water there. And now the Great Lakes have dropped 2 feet in the last, I believe, like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
That's a massive amount of water that these people are taking.
With a huge effect to fishing industries and...
Back in 2010, Peter said, if Nestle and myself have become very vocal in the area of water, it is not because of any philanthropic idea. It was very simple. By analyzing what is the single most important factor for the sustainability of Nestle, water came in as the #1 subject. I think that that is part of the company's responsibility. Now, if I was in a different industry, I would have a different subject that I would be focused on. The guy wants to make money. He wants to privatize water. We saw that didn't work down in Chile when they tried to privatize water there, and I believe they started arresting people because water got so expensive that they started taking it from the rain, and then the police started arresting them because they couldn't have their own water, that it had to come from the corporation. This guy is clearly a dork for believing that water is not a right to you and I. We die if we don't have it.
Since it's not all serious faces and fist shaking here at Buzzsaw, we give you a moment of aww with your hero of the week, or in this case, heroes. Homeless men at the City Union Missions Men's Center in Kansas City have, for the last 3 years, been filling water coolers with spare change in order to help Peyton Adams, a little girl who's been fighting leukemia since she was 2. The homeless men have at times collected $300 to $500 with the change for the little girl's medical bills. Peyton's mother, Lelena Adams, said, quote, "We're so excited. It's just amazing what they're doing for my baby. It just warms my heart and makes me want to cry," end quote. It's another one of those wonderful stories where people who have next to nothing are willing to go out and work to help somebody else who needs it. And it's something that we should all be doing. And I think if you can look at someone who's in that situation, they're homeless, and they see someone who needs help, they're willing to help, and we should all be doing that.